What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we are talking about Belle Delphine. She was trending on Twitter all day yesterday for a post that she made. She tweeted out, "My perfect first date," with a series of not safe for work pictures of her tied up in a van, tied up, pushed against a tree, getting railed by a guy in a mask. Adult film star post pictures from her upcoming adult film. Such breaking news, I know, but this got everyone very riled up, trending all over Twitter. People were making tweets such as, "If you follow or support Belle Delphine, unfollow me and never talk to me again. I get having a fetish or a kink, but this is fun." Dressing up as a kid and pretending to get raped on cam. How the fuck do you come up with this and think it's okay? Stop. Belle Delphine is trending because she did a photo shoot in which she dressed up like a child getting raped and kidnapped. It's on her pinned, so please do not go through her account. She dressed up like a little girl who was kidnapped and is tied up in a fan, is getting raped in the forest, and it's called a perfect first day. Sex workers are not the problem. The problem is literally Belle Delphine. Belle Delphine dressing as a child, pretending to get kidnapped and raped, and people simp over her. You need a psychological evaluation. Quite frankly, if you support Belle Delphine, you need to get help and be placed on a government watch list. People were even going so far as to call out other influencers because they followed Belle Delphine. At Anthony Padilla, "I have supported you over years upon years and watched your videos, but you followed Belle Delphine. And I think it's a really unacceptable considering what she has done in the past, not just with this photo shoot." People were very mad. Now, the first argument I want to address about this is a lot of people are pushing this narrative that she's dressed as a child. She's wearing a dress. I mean, this is the least I've seen Belle Delphine dressed as a child ever. I know Belle Delphine in the past has dressed like a child, but this doesn't seem to be one of them cases. She's wearing a dress. Can a 21-year-old adult star not wear a dress now without being accused of trying to represent a child? Now, I do understand people being uncomfortable with the scenario. This is a fantasy or fetish, which is a very real fetish that people have. It's been around for ages. People genuinely have this fetish. I don't understand it at all. However, I realize that I'm looking at two consenting adults having sex. This isn't really kidnapping, and she isn't being forced. If you didn't want to see this type of content, might I suggest you don't follow her or you block her? Because even though I find it weird, and I know people find it weird, I recognize that this is just that, a fetish. And it might be more extreme than people are used to, but it really is all it is. And I don't think for a second she's representing a child. Obviously, if she was purposely pretending to be a child, I would find that fun. But I just think she's being herself and is just in a dress. I made this take on Twitter and people started accusing me of being a closeted nonce because I have some common sense. If watching porn that has an adult acting like a child who's being odd stops you from touching children, I'm not going to stop you, but the least you could do is acknowledge what she's doing is wrong. You're a closeted nonce. Now, one of the other criticisms about what Belle Delphine did is that she posted it on Twitter without a trigger warning. Now, there's two arguments to this. One, it's her Twitter. She can do what she wants. She's a not safe for work account, so people should expect not safe for work content. Second argument is that people who have actually gone through this experience in real life, it would be extremely disturbing for them seeing someone role play it. I do see both sides. Would it have hurt to put a warning on this post? I don't think so. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think if you're going to come to some sort of compromise, maybe just put warnings on posts for the future. However, I also do see the fact it is her account and she is an adult film star. But I can tell you which side Belle Delphine is on because she is very unapologetic for this. She posted a tweet saying, "I'm not sorry, here's why." Buckle in, it's a long one. "There is nothing wrong with enjoying power play and BDSM where both people are consensual. I think saying because I enjoy consensual non-consent is promoting R is the same as argument that violence in video games promotes violence. I made it very clear in the caption of my photo and anything written about it that I was enjoying it and that it was consensual. I never said the word R or anything against my will. This is what other people have put onto it. I enjoy the idea of being tied up and used with my consent, obviously. Another thing that people have said is that I'm trying to dress like a child, which to me is insane. I felt like dressing vintage that day and even styled my hair in a beehive that was very common for women of that time. All the clothes I wear are made for adults. The only thing that people can comment on maybe is the fact I'm wearing a cute dress. It's very confusing for me since I see other people dress like it all the time. It's about how I genetically look. I can't change that, and I will not apologize for it either, nor will I stop being sexual since I'm a sexually active adult, which I agree with, especially with the dress stuff. She isn't dressed like a child. I think people who are pushing that narrative have lost the argument about how this is just a kink and power play, and have focused the argument on more, oh, but yeah, she's trying to be a kid, because they know people will be so angry because it involves kids, rightly so, if it applied. But it doesn't apply. No one likes R. No one wants R to exist. Saying that I support R is the same as saying that 50% of the female population does, because if you look at statistics based upon this from studies done over the last 30 years, including new studies, 31 to 61% of women have power play / R fantasies in the exact same way. I consented to being tied up and having rough sex. I'm not apologizing for anything. What I did wasn't wrong and much more normal than people think. Look at one of the most common sexual outfits and fantasies, schoolgirls. If you wear that, are you promoting being a nonce now? The front page of porn websites include fantasy scenarios of every different kind you can think of. Incest, stepmom, teacher, etc. Just because someone likes a fantasy of something doesn't mean they want it in real life. Sex is complex and explorative, but should always be consensual. I post a lot of sex stuff on my Twitter because it's for my OnlyFans. People who are sensitive to kinks and sex content shouldn't be following me. I've made it very clear that I'm posting hardcore P. Staying true to myself and my beliefs is more important than following the tide of angry, angsty people on the internet. Can you imagine a world where people actually posted how they individually felt rather than how the whole cancel culture shitty community felt? It would be a better and more productive one. As for people saying I should use a trigger warning, my whole Twitter / OnlyFans have constant themes of kink since I do P as a job, and I will not put a trigger warning on all my posts. Do not follow me if you require trigger warnings before posts. P.S. It was the best sex I've had in months. I'm planning to do it again very soon. Conor McGregor vibes right there.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
I think that response and statement was very well put against people who are saying that she just supports the R word, and that this fantasy is more normal than people realize, because I know it's shocking to people who have never been exposed to it, but it does exist in the real world and is very common even in the industry she's in. If you're going to go after her for this, then you probably have to go after the entire industry. And I understand people who be like, oh, Kavos, you're just a sim. This is more just about common sense and just being realistic that this is a thing. It does exist. Belle Delphine didn't invent it. She's not going to put any trigger warnings on it. It probably would have been a decent compromise, but I can imagine this video will cause a lot of debate in the comments. I always encourage debate. I hope you guys do. If you guys have an opinion on this, comment down below right now. What do you think? My final take, my final summary is, yes, I do think it's weird. I'm personally not into this, but I recognize BDSM, power play, is a kink. This is something that people do regularly, and it's more widespread than I actually imagine. But the argument that she's dressed as a child, absolutely not. That is a stupid argument and pushing a false narrative to fit your own agenda. If you don't want to follow Belle Delphine, if you don't want this kind of content, just don't follow her. Block her. Block her now. Job done. Yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like right now if you got this far into the video. Comment down below, like I said, your opinions. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd really appreciate everyone who subscribes. My socials are all down below, so make sure you check them out. DM me if you have an opinion you want to talk to me about or anything. My DMs are open. And yeah, that is it for this video. Until next time, fuck off.